I was a physical therapist working with people with back pain pretty much exclusively, and I thought that I was pretty good at what I did. I'd been 18 years into that medical profession when my cousin, who lives in New York, complaining of a back problem, went to every medical person she knew and was unable to resolve this back pain. And before she was about to have surgery, her friends at the Juilliard School of Music suggested she have an Alexander lesson. I spoke to the person she was going to see. We were always afraid that she might be hurt. And after hearing what was going to happen in the Alexander lesson, a look at her habits, some gentle guided movement, I suggested she take a lesson. And 2 weeks later, after 4 lessons, she was sitting at the piano pain-free. I'd never had a result like that as a medical person. I was fascinated. And so I got on a plane and flew to New York about a month later to watch the lesson. And I'm watching this woman give my cousin this Alexander lesson, and I keep saying to her, "What are you doing?" Because I see all these amazing changes happening in my cousin. I see this big smile on her face. I see the two of them having this wonderful time, but I can't figure out what this woman is doing with her hands, because it appears that nothing is happening even though her hands are on my cousin. So at a certain point in the lesson, Deborah Kaplan, who became my mentor, walked over to me and said to me, "Judy, this is what I'm doing." And she put her hands on my head and my neck. And I had a change in my coordination that seemed really extraordinary. And what I said to her was, "You have to be kidding. How did you do that?" And she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, my entire coordination changed. I'm breathing easier. I'm standing more comfortably. I actually feel well. What did you do?" And she said to me, "I took away all the interference. This is your natural coordination." And I said to her, "I'm moving to New York to train." And that's really my story. So when something that extraordinary happens to you in a moment, and you know that you've been working hard to try and make that happen to people in a very kind of detailed part-by-part way. You know, if I was treating a knee as a physical therapist, I treated the knee. If I was treating a back, I treated the back. The Alexander technique is about treating the whole person. And if I treat the whole person, it turns out that the knee or the neck, the upper part of the back, or the foot, whatever is bothering you, will fall into a natural coordination as well. It was a totally different paradigm, and one that I really decided was for me. So I moved to New York about 4 years later, and sort of the rest is history. I've been teaching the Alexander technique ever since.